same living creature that you want to. He's like the fish. You got Dagon. They worship Dagon, but you go into the ocean now. What's killing everybody? People are going into the ocean getting slaughtered by sharks, man. Devoured by sharks, man. That's what you want to worship? These wild beasts, you know? Yeah, they're beautiful. They're created by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and meant to be admired. But other than that, they're not to be worshipped, man. Idol worship is a no-no when it comes to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay? It says, going back to Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 22, for the whole world before thee is as a little grain of the balance, yea, as a drop of the morning dew that falleth down upon the earth. But thou hast mercy upon all, for thou canst do all things, and winkest at the sins of men, because they should amend. But that time of winking is over, man. Okay? He's not going to let you go this time, man. But even during that time of them being in the wilderness, they were being destroyed, man. Okay? So going back over here to Exodus 32 and 1, and when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us gods which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we would not what has become of him. So they lost patience. Right? They lost patience. That's why the Most High tells us that through the Spirit, we have to keep our patience, right? Sirach 20 or Sirach 2 and 14. Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? See, they lost patience, man. It's very important to keep your patience. All right. And that's what they did. Moses wasn't coming. They weren't seeing him. They didn't have faith. They weren't hoping. They weren't praying or fasting. You know. Instead, they were just bugging out, man. Okay. Get this one. This is Luke 21 and 19. In your patience possess ye your souls, man. So you got to possess your souls and your patience. What's that? You're in the time of your affliction. So you got to keep that integrity. You got to keep your eyes, your focus on the prize, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. Right? Let's go over here to the book of James. This is in the book of James, chapter 5, verse 8. It says, I'll start at verse 7. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and how long patient for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. And who was that? He's speaking to Israel, the Israelites, because we are those first fruits, the elect. Lord willing, I'm part of that number. Okay? But he says, be patient, therefore, brethren. Okay? Though it tarry, wait for it shall surely come, man. And all they had to do was wait. Moses was going to come back. He was a man of the Lord. They had to have faith. Right? But instead, they told Aaron, they persuaded Aaron to build him a golden calf, which I'm going to get into. You know? But they said, let them lead us in the way. These dumb idols, man. So they put their hope in vanity, man. They rejected Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. Verse 8, James 5 and 8. Be ye also patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. See? Moses was going to come down from the mount, man. You're just dealing with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It was on Yahushai's time. And it was a test in itself to see what Israel was going to do. You know? That's why it took so long. It was a test in itself to see what they were going to do so Moses could see. Because when you come into this thing, man, you had to fight for this, man. This ain't something that's just going to be given to you. Even though it's already there, it's written, it's there. But you have to fight for it, man. You have to really want this thing. It's not meant just to be given out to everybody, man. And that's what people don't understand. You can do all this wicked shit, live however you want, say what you want, and then expect something good in return. Fuck that shit, man. This is 2nd Ezra 7 and 9. If this city now were given unto a man for inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? See, but you have to make it through. The scriptures say in Matthew 24, he that endured to the end shall be saved, man. But that endurance, which comes along with patience, you have to maneuver. You have to get over these obstacles, you know, make sound decisions, wise decisions. They weren't doing that, man. All they wanted to do was complain, man. You know, they lost patience and their hope, man. They didn't possess their souls and their suffering. So going back to Exodus 32 and 2, and Aaron said unto them, break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons and your daughters, and bring them unto me. Right? So verse 3, and all the people break off the golden earrings and which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron, and he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graven tool, after he had made it a molten calf. See, so Aaron got all their gold, you know, and what is it, molten, which he melted the gold to liquefied it, and molded a golden calf, man, a calf. And they said, these be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. You see? So that's what they be doing, man. They're tripping. Israel's always tripping on that shit, man. They can come over here and be like, oh man, I'm an Israelite, man. Hey, learn the Hebrew, the water, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, but they're still having crucifix, going to these churches, still praying to the dead saints, man. You know, not being indecisive, not knowing what they want. We ain't down with that. I ain't down with that kind of shit. You either in or not, man. You know, you got a lot of guys that are like that, man. A lot of people are finding out they're Israelites, but they're not moving in the right direction, in the right spirit, man. You know? Which makes them a Gentile, because they're not coming out of that mindset, man. They're not coming out of that spirit of ignorance, man. Of that stubbornness that which leads into idolatry. Okay? It says, just let it go. Salakia, man. Let's go over here to Ezekiel 32 and 5. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made proclamation and said, tomorrow is a feast to the Lord. And they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings, and the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play, which links up with 1 Corinthians chapter 10, which is a beautiful scripture, because these things were examples unto us on how not to be, because those things were going to bring in the curses. Okay, now when you go into 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and read down, it's going into blessings and gifts that you're going to receive through the Spirit. So what do you think will happen if you go contrary to that? The same thing that happened to Israel. The curses, you're not going to receive those spiritual gifts, man. You're not going to receive those blessings. Okay? So going over here to Exodus 32 and 7. And when the Lord said unto Moses, go, get thee down, for thy people which thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. Right? They turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them, that were led by these idols. Right? It says, they have made them a molten calf and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, these be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought them up out of the land of Egypt. See? And the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people, man. Okay? That's plain, man. Our people are bugged out, man. They're into all this bullshit. I want to bring out this one here in the book of Judges. Let's see. Because they, you know, when you read First Kings, Second Kings, they were always doing that, man. They were always going back and forth to idol worship. The judges as well. But I had made mention of that word teraphim when you go into that word idolatry, as I brought out earlier. And here in Judges, man, let me see. It's brought up. Let's see. I'm sure that it's brought up in other areas in the scriptures, but this is what comes to my mind regarding that word. Just bear with me, man. Lord willing, I'll find it. Let's see. I'm sure it's in the book of Judges, man. This is right here, and in Judges 17, and Judges 17 and 1, and there was a man of Mount Ephraim whose name was Micah. Right? And I'm going to read down. Verse 4. Yet he restored the money unto his mother, and his mother took 200 shekels of silver and gave them to the founder, who made there of graven image and a molten image, and they were in the house of Micah. Right? So his mother took that money and made a molten image. Right? And they put it in the house of Micah. And the man Micah had an house of gods, and made an ephod and teraphim, which is that word idolatry, and consecrated one of his sons, who became his priest. Now those teraphims, they could be, like it says, statues, figurines, or house of God, man. All right, like they had or they had like Beth Baal, right, or Beth Dagon, which is Beth is Bath is house. The house of that God, the house of Dagon, the house of Balaam, the house of Balaam. All right. So it says, in those days there was no king in Israel, but every man did that which was right in his own eyes. Right. So that's what they be thinking. They think just because there's no. That's the thing about Israel, man. Is they always need somebody to tell them what they should and shouldn't be doing, man. The Most High is looking for great men that are gonna move in the spirit. That's gonna diligently seek out Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. Put off all these dumb idols, man. Put all this dumb shit, all this ridiculous stuff, man. All this shit that just has benefits us, it don't have no benefit. It don't benefit us. All it does is lead us into a deeper hole and more heartache, you know? Now you can read that whole account regarding Micah in that house that he had put those golden images and get more edification. But I just wanted to bring that out regarding that word teraphim, which is going into idol worship, man. It's the figurines, these idols that they set up and they'll put up in their houses, man. Those are abominations. And that's what Israel was doing, man. They did it with the golden calf. They did it in the time of Moses. They did it throughout all the time, even to this very day right now. All right? They corrupt themselves, man. So going back to Exodus 32 and 9, and the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation. Right? So all those men, they were killed, man. They were put to death. Let me bring out that account here in the book of Psalms. Is it 104? Psalms 106. And I'll start at verse 1. Praise ye Yahweh, oh give thanks unto the Most High, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. And that's what Israel forgot in the time, man. They thought that he went away. Like they thought Moses was gone, man. They didn't think he was going to come back. Who can utter the mighty acts of the Lord, and who can show forth all his praise? Blessed are they that keep judgment, and he that doeth righteousness at all times. And that's where they failed, man. They weren't doing righteousness at all times, man. They were part-time. You know, they were partial. They were unstable. They were indecisive. They were lacking faith. And that's where you had to have confidence, man. You have to be fully persuaded in your own mind that this is the thing, man. Okay? You have to believe that you ain't no Gentile like the world likes to tell us. You know? You're Israelites. You Negro Latinos and Native American Indians, you're Israelites. You need to put away all these foolish things, man. You have to put down these false idols, these false gods. Stop calling on the name Jesus Cristo. Right? Jesus Christ. You have to put that shit away and call on the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. It says, Psalms 106 and 4, remember me, O Yahweh, with the favor that thou bearest unto thy people. O visit me with thy salvation. Right? Because you don't want the Lord visiting you with tempest and fire and devouring, you know, beasts. You know? Because he can come that way. That's how the Lord said, I'm going to visit the earth. Right? In the book of Isaiah. Isaiah 29 and 6. Thou shalt be visited of Yahweh a host with thunder and earthquake, great noise, storm, tempest, flame, and the devouring fire, man. You know? So going back over here to Psalms 106 and 5. That I may see the good of thy chosen, that I may rejoice in the gladness of thy nation, that I may glory with thy inheritance. You see? So all those rebels that were in the time of Moses, right, they were all put to death, man. And only the ones that were, you know, the elect that were sincere, they made it into the promised land under Joshua, Caleb, okay? Still fighting, devouring the Philistines, right? Ammonites, the Moabites, the Edomites, you know? It says, we have sinned with our fathers, we have committed iniquity, we have done wickedly. Our fathers understood not thy wonders in Egypt, they remembered not the multitude of thy mercies, but provoked him at the sea, even at the Red Sea. You're always bitching and complaining, man. You weren't waiting on the Lord. You weren't waiting for him to perform his miracle, man. Showing you that he had a cloud by day, a cloud by day, and a fire pillar by night, man, guiding you through the way, man. What else did you need? You know? That's why the Most High is gonna put a lot of you people to death, man, because you don't deserve it, man. You despised it when it was presented to you. You rejected the Heavenly Father, man. You know? Going back to Psalms 106 and 8. Nevertheless, he saved them for his name's sake, that he might make his power, his mighty power to be known. See? So he always showed you. He was there. But you didn't want to believe it. You know? It's like brothers say Jake has a short-term memory, right? They have a short attention span. You'll tell them one thing and boom, it's gone the next. They won't even remember what the fuck went down, what happened. It could be something spectacular, they won't even remember in detail. It says, he rebuked the Red Sea also, and it was dried up. So he led them through the depths as through the wilderness. See, as I'm speaking on, man. As, you know, as it said in, we'll read it again, 1 Corinthians 12 and 2. Ye know that you were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols, even as you were led, man. Right? You know? As he rebuked the Red Sea also, and it was dried up. So he led them through the depths as through the wilderness. Okay? He showed you his might, man. And he saved them from the hand of him that hated them, and redeemed them from the hand of the enemy. Who was that? The Egyptians, man. The Hamites, the Canaanites. Right? Pharaoh and his army, man. He delivered you from these things, man. 400 years you're in captivity there in hard bondage. Right? Egypt means double straits. The proper name was, the landmass was Mizraim. You never thought you were going to get out of that place, man. But guess what? You one day it came. Yahweh sent a man, Moses and Aaron, and told you. Showed you these great miracles, that these things were going to come to pass. It's like we're doing the same thing, man. We're in the same state of Moses, man. We're doing the same thing all over, man. You know? The second Exodus is fast approaching, man. This is Jeremiah 16 and 14. Salaki, let me start up. Jeremiah 16 and 10. It shall come to pass when thou shalt show this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee, Where hath the Lord pronounced all this great evil against us? Or what is our iniquity? Or what is our sin that we committed against Yahweh our power? Then shalt thou say unto them, Because your fathers have forsaken me, saith Yahweh, and have walked after other gods, and have served them, and have worshipped them, and have forsaken them, and have not kept my law. And ye have done worse than your fathers. For behold, you walk every one after the imagination of his evil heart, that they may not hearken unto me. Therefore I will cast you out of this land into a land that you know not, neither ye nor your fathers, and there shall ye serve other gods day and night, where I will not show you favor. See? So it led up to that point, man, where it continued. It just got worse. They waxed worse and worse, right? And it says, Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, The Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. Talking about here in America, man. Okay? We're going to be brought out as the second Exodus, man. And from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers, man. The northern and southern kingdom are going to be brought into one stick, man. One nation. And that's what we're speaking, preaching. Okay? So going back to Psalms 106 and 11, and the waters covered their enemies, and there was not one of them left. They believed his words, they sang his praise. Right? The song of Moses. They soon forgot his works. They waited not for his counsel. You see? They lost patience, man. You know? That's why it's very important to brothers. You know, you have to wait for you have to wait for Yahweh Shem Shah for the answer to be given to you, man. It's a waiting process. Said, matter of fact, let me bring out this one in Proverbs, because they had Moses, man. Moses wasn't down with wisdom, man. Aaron, so they had no excuse. All they had to do was wait. It's Proverbs 1 And 22, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Turn ye at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called, you refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. Why? Because you lost patience, man. You didn't want to wait for Yahweh Shem Shai's counsel. Even though the prophets of the Lord were being sent out, rising up early, every day we're coming out to the highways and the byways. You got thousands of brothers everywhere preaching this word, man. And going on the internet, putting videos daily to the word that we're flooding the internet, man. Making live shows. Brothers popping up every single day, coming out to the highways and the byways and preaching the Heavenly Father's word the way it needs to be preached, man. Prophesying the downfall of America. Letting you know who the enemy is. That's what we're about, man. Not like your old Christianity plantation doctrine, man, that's been preached to our people for the past 500 years, man. Putting us through slavery, telling us that we're the bottom of the barrel, but yet we're the greatest people on the earth, man. We build up everything. We're the best in sports. We're the best fighters. We're the best lovers. We're everything. Everything that the Most High put in our spirit is of Him, man. You know? This is a great time to listen to this word, man. Because there's a possibility you might be a Hebrew Israelite, man. There's no such thing as white or black. That's something that came up in old, man. You know, we're all races, nationalities, man. But I'll tell you this, the Negro Latinos and Native American Indians, we are Hebrew Israelites. We come from our Heavenly Father, man, up on high. A chosen people. Okay? It says, right. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. You know? You didn't want to wait. You didn't want to take heed to it. You know? You didn't want to play the quiet game. You didn't want to sit still. You wanted to get up and play like it said in Exodus, man. You rose up and play, and then what you do, you go sacrificing to devils, man. After you went and made your peace offerings on the altar of the Lord, then you went over there to the image, the golden calf, and started acting all wild, man. They did in the time of Noah, man. Their imagination of their evil heart was continually, man. They repented of Him. They were wicked. You know? So going back to Psalms 106 and 14, but lusted exceedingly in the wilderness and tempted the Most High in the desert. You see? Watch this. And He gave them their request by sent leanness into their soul. And He sucked them dry, man. He made them, famished. You know, they didn't have it anymore, man. They were dying. They were weakening because of that unbelief, man. They had put on evil spirits upon themselves. All right. It says, they envied Moses also in the camp, and Aaron the saint of the Lord. The earth opened and swallowed up Dathan and covered the company of Abiram, which is that was the sons of how does it say the word? The sons of, let me bring it up. Sons of Kor, Salakia. Okay, let me get that account real quick here in the Apocrypha. Sirach 45 and 8. Sirach 45 and 17. He gave unto his commandments. He gave unto him his commandments and authority in the statutes of judgments, that he should teach Jacob the testimonies and inform Israel in his laws. Strangers conspired together against him and mingled and maligned him in the wilderness, even the men that were of Dathan's and Abiram's side, and the congregation of Kor with fury and wrath. This the Lord saw, and it displeased Him, and in His wrathful indignation were they consumed. He did wonders upon them to consume them with the fiery flame by opening up the earth, man. The earth swallowed them up, as it said in Psalms 106 and 17. The earth opened up and swallowed up Dathan and covered the company of Abiram. Why? Because they rebelled against Moses, man. They didn't want to take heed to him, man, of the law, statutes, and commandments. And that's what goes on to this very day, man. All you people do whatever you want, man. You talk all this mad cash, you do all that stuff, man. And you don't even realize that you're doing it against the Lord, man. You eat what you want, you eat pork, right? You're into homosexuality, all forms of wickedness, man. You think this is a game, man. Even our people are wicked as fuck, man. They think this shit's a fucking game, man. Smiling and smirking, thinking they fucking know what's up. You so-called Mexicans, you Latino, y'all don't know a goddamn thing, man. The scriptures say to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it's because there's no light in you. You have no light in you, man. Because you know a little bit of things, you know how to, you did a little bit of research, doesn't mean that you know what's up. You have to know what this is talking about. Scriptures say get wisdom, but with all that getting, get understanding, man. Can't stand looking at these goddamn people's faces, man. They think they're fucking smart. God damn. Right? You go over here into the book of Jude, it brings up that same account. Partially. Jude, verse 11. Woe unto them that have gone in the way of Cain, and ran greedily after the error of Balaam for reward, and perished in the gainsaying of Kor. See, the gainsaying of Kor, which is talking about Dathan and Abiram. It's the same thing. That's what they would call it, the gainsaying of Kor. A matter of fact, let me bring it out here. All right. Sit on there, hold that, this is Numbers 16 and 1. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, and the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, and the son of Beleth, the sons of Reuben, took men, right? Which is that company that I read in the book of Sirach, that I read in Jude. Now I'm gonna go to the point, because they just bucked up. You know what I'm saying? They basically bucked up. You can read the account, but I'm gonna read in verse 31, Numbers 16 and 31. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto Korah, and all their goods. So the Most High can cause the earth to collapse under you, man, and you'll be destroyed, man. Just like you're hearing about all these sinkholes, you know, the earth is just collapsing, you know, on the roads are just opening up. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it is, man. He has the power to, you could be standing somewhere and you'll fall straight into the earth, man, and die. It's like, man, shut the fuck up. He was automatically open up the mouth of the earth to swallow you up, man, which is hell. You know what I'm saying? The earth could take in everything. The earth could take in all these people, the bodies, and still take in more. You know what I'm saying? It said Numbers 16 and 32, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto Korah, and all their goods.